Not so far.
Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome. I'm gonna be crocheting. You guys could crochet, you could do whatever you want. We're also gonna chat. Hello, Mary. And Liz was in here. She'll probably be back. But yes, I am and Annie. Oh, and Annie's here too. Let's bring her up onto the panel.
How you doing?
And then we'll go like this so you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is the pattern that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. It's from Lion Brand. Is no longer on their website. I do not know if it will come back on their website, but I got a copy of it and it was a free pattern. So I have a copy of it and I can share it because it was a free pattern as long as you promise not to sell it. Like make a whole bunch of them. But let me um let me share the screen real quick and you can see this picture close up because I was able, hey JJ, I was able to find the image on the internet, but I could not. I looked on the Line Brand website and it's no longer there because it's a lacy summer crochet cardigan. They might bring it back, but we'll see. But let me share this image with you guys. There it is. That's the
Yeah,
back
I'm
of it.
seeing that on there, thinking, yeah, that's way too complicated. I'll never be able to do that.
It's
The past
really
life.
it is so simple, so simple. Um, it's a repeat. There's 7 rows, but then once you get past the first time, then you start with row 2 to 7. But it's so easy that I don't even look at the pattern anymore, and I don't know. So I
Except for
first made
keeping track of your rows.
not anymore because I know what comes next. So let me stop sharing and let me show you. Um, okay, so this this one, this is the skirt cover. Okay, and it's the same exact pattern. It's a lot bigger because it's a skirt. I don't want a mini skirt. Okay, and then this is the actual cardigan, lace cardigan, and I've gotten this much done. So I've got from the chain row all the way up to here. So gone through a whole color change on this so far. It calls for 3 skeins. Now the skeins it calls for is not the ones I have. It calls for let's see, where is it? It's probably back over here. Yeah, it's right here. 3 to 4 skeins of Lion Brand Mandela string in ballad. Okay, that is a 1 weight. This is a 3 weight, and it is Mandela Lion Brand Mandela sequins, and it is a 3 weight. And the other one is a 1 weight. My friend is making this exact one with the exact, and it's really much finer and lacier, but it looks the same. Um, I see her at the library all the time doing it. But let me show you what it is, okay? So let me see if I can bring this down. There we go. Okay, so let's say the first row starts with this here, okay? So it is 3 double crochets, 3 chain, 1 double crochet, 3 chain, 3 double crochet. It does that all the way along on that row. Then the next row is the same thing, but it's opposite. So the 3 is here. Oh wait, no, yeah, the 3 is here, and then it's opposite up here because when you were doing this 3 1 3, this is the bottom of your diamond, where that is, this next row is the top of your next row. See what I'm saying? Hey, Sandra. So what you're initially doing is you're doing 3 5 3 1 3 5 3 1 1 3 5 3 1. So you start this one when you're ending this diamond. You're starting this one, the next row. See what I'm saying? Super, super simple. Once you get going on it, I don't, like I said, I'd never looked at the pattern on this one at all, except for how many I needed, because I am I don't wear size large anymore, so I went with the size, the medium, or the, I don't know. Let's see, how many chains did I do? So I went with the medium, or the large, not the extra large, just because I like my cardigans to fit me really well. So I went with 226 stitches, and I used stitch markers because I didn't want to mess up on my numbers, and they're still in there. So I do it every 50. I put a stitch marker at the bottom so that I know that my numbers are right, so that the pattern will work out. But um, yeah. So what is everyone? Hello, Liz. So what is everyone else doing tonight? See, like this one here, I'm on the 5, so I do 5 double crochets, and then I do a chain of 5, and then I just jump over here and do a double crochet on the last chain, and then I do 3 more double crochets in the tops of the other double crochets. Whoops. And then, okay, Connie. Sometimes this thread slides away from me. Okay, so once I've done the 4 double crochets, I'm doing a lousy job right now. Then I do 1 double crochet in the first chain right there. That way, that gives me my 5, and then I do a chain of 5. And that's all this row is. 5 double crochets, 5 chains, 5 double crochets, 5 chain. And then on the next one, it will be the 3 1 3 1. But you can always see where you need to go once you've got a couple rows, what row you're on. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I started this on Saturday, and I didn't touch it on Sunday at all because I had to go get Ron from the airport. Thank you, Liz. Yeah, I really like it. Now, the other on the skirt cover, I had 3 skeins exactly the same. These 3 are all different, but I'm going to do this one next because this one ends in this color. So I'll just start with this one, and then my other one starts with I think the pink. So if I have to use it, I can just start with it, because I don't like to go from the outside of a skein if I can help it. I like to go from the inside. So yeah. And I know Annie's not sure what she's going to do tonight. She may color, she may crochet, she may just sit, she may vegetate, she may chat, she may, I don't know what she's doing. So right now I think she's talking to somebody. But yeah. So this is a really pretty, and so the top I'm going to wear it with, I have 2 tops, one for winter and one for summer. So one is
Oh,
the one is a short sleeve purple top that's a lighter color than this purple, and then winter one is a long sleeve purple that is lighter than the short sleeve. And that's what I'm going to wear underneath it. And I am making a skirt, an off-white A-line skirt to go underneath the skirt cover.
Sorry, I had to put my eggs in cold water. Tonight I will be
No. Okay.
probably colored tonight. I told Andrew I was party.
And I have my my gifts to myself, well, from Ron for Christmas is coloring books and pencils and gel pens.
Rabbit, Christmas bunny, whatever you want to call it. That's the one he wanted, so that's the one I'll do. Sorry, Bill was asking me what picture Andrew finally picked out.
You haven't decided what you want me to paint yet.
Yes, and hi Liz, hi Mary, hi JJ, and hi Sandra. I'm giving it some thought. I kind of know what
I haven't done. Yeah, I haven't done those other ones for everybody else that won the other night. I have not heard. I don't think I've heard from Sarah yet, but I'm not going to chase her. She'll come to me when she's ready. And but the other three, I've got them, and I just need to do them. I'm probably going to do them. I don't know what day. Probably maybe.
Do you remember the tree picture I sent you that I collared?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of want something like that, but without the noose in the tree.
Without the what in the tree?
There's a noose in that tree.
Oh, just send me the picture again so that I have it. Because I don't know if you actually sent it to me or you showed me.
I'm not sure. I'll check. Because I keep them all when I take a picture of them.
Okay.
Andrew thinks I should compile them.
Yeah.
He's like, Mom, he said, comic book companies hire people all the time to color pictures. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm quite that good yet. Yeah, I might be. Not yet.
Don't underestimate yourself. See, the thing is, a lot of times, yes, they do like artists to do them, but they don't. A lot of them don't want them to be like looking professional because it will intimidate the people who is buying them. They'll say, "Oh, I can't do that," and they'll move on to something else. But then other companies do that. I don't know.
Well, I told him at the moment, it's kind of like it is with my crochet. I don't want it to be a job. That's my relaxation.
Right.
That's why I've stopped selling anything that I crochet, because it stopped being fun.
Yeah. Let me grab that last picture I colored. Oh.
And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Here it is. Oh yeah, this is
Love
the
you.
one I did. That's that last one that I did.
Yep, I like that one.
Yeah.
I like owls.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm going to kick her ass. Oops. But, sorry, y'all, if she don't bring my coloring book back.
Your sister?
Yes. I'm going to have to go up her and storm her house and find her coloring supplies. She is drawing them out by hand, and she's going to embroider. She wants to make an owl quilt.
Oh, that's right. That's what she was doing for my picture.
Yeah, but she's had like 3 months. It's like, dude.
Yeah,
She's like, well, you know what it is? And I said, yeah, but if it's your house, it's really hard for me to color a picture in it.
exactly.
Anthony is ensconced. He's locked up in his room listening to Christmas music.
Oh,
That usually starts
gee,
in July, y'all. So Christmas in
yeah,
July is a thing in my house.
yeah, I remember hearing it. That and the cuckoo clocks.
Yes. I don't mind the cuckoo clock and I don't mind the Christmas cuckoo. The Christmas cuckoo just plays a Christmas carol on the hour.
Yeah,
And the I like thing it's got a sleep mode and as soon as his room goes dark, it doesn't do anything until the sun comes up.
well, that's good.
Yes. As the one thing, whenever I spent the night at Bill's mom and dad's house, they had a mantle clock, which we inherited when his dad died. And it is so loud, I couldn't sleep. I can hear, I took my wristwatch off because I always wore a watch to work when I worked at Kroger's. And I would take my watch off at night and put it in my dresser drawer buried under clothes so I couldn't hear
Yeah,
it ticking. I could still hear it ticking, but
yeah.
it'd be muffled enough that it didn't annoy me. A ticking
Thank
clock.
you. Yeah, thank you, Sandra, and Merry Christmas to you too.
I don't know what it is about ticking clocks and pacing, and that is people or animals. It drives me insane in a heartbeat. It's just
Pacing?
pacing back and forth. It drives me insane. I don't.
Then
I
you're
can't.
insane, right? Because that's what your
Huh?
brother, that's what your son does.
Yeah, but no, I've been this way my whole life. I've never been able to stand to be around somebody who paces. Hey, Larry, Merry Christmas.
Hello, Larry. Merry Christmas. How do you handle Anthony the way he paces?
Encourage him to stop, try to distract him, or close my eyes and say, he's not pacing, he's not pacing.
Yeah, I'd say because when I see him, he's back and forth, back and forth.
When he was about 9 years old, he went into this stimming behavior. He would sit in the hallway and he would open and close his door. Not slamming it, not, nothing loud. He would just open it and then close it. And he would do this up to 19 hours a day.
Oh my lord.
And you want to talk, I have learned that child has taught me patience. I really never thought that I had any patience until I had him.
Well, yeah, you have to have
And I'm sitting there but I can get, and Bill will be the first one. He's like, yeah, but you ain't got none for nobody else. I said, because he takes it all.
him.
If I'm going to expend my patience on somebody, it's going to be him.
Right.
He kept walking in here I'd sit down in my chair for a while and dozed off. And Bill said he'd come in here and he walked in here and he looked at me and he huffed and walked back in his bed. He'd walk in here, look at me, huff. And Bill's like, Renee called me. He goes, I don't know if it's because you were in the chair and he wanted it. He said, or what's going on? And I looked at the clock and I said, no. I said, he's ready. He's used to dinner being on the table by 3 o'clock. I was like, it's almost 5. I said, he's just hungry.
Yeah.
I fixed it, and Bill's like, I'll take it. And I said, Anthony, dinner's ready. And he was beeline in that kitchen. Like I told you, he was just hungry. Yeah, I can't really say he's earned my patience, Larry. I've given him my patience. Uh, Other people just, they're adults. They should know better, especially
He's
when
an
I'm grumpy.
adult, but he doesn't have a mind of an adult.
Yeah, well, and I know. I mean, I give him the respect of an adult as far as privacy and things, but I'll never
Right.
see him as an adult. He'll always be my baby boy.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's pretty much nonverbal, but he's becoming more verbal.
We can have her. I'd really like to sit down and have a conversation with him someday. Just figure out how his brain
Yeah,
works.
it could happen because I know my daughter's friend, her son was nonverbal. Period. No words, no nothing until he was about 9 years old, and he just started talking. So
That
you
is
just
what.
never know. But he can say a lot of words, and you said he
Yeah,
started with
yeah. No, he
4
used to
words
only
together.
have about 10 words, and he has about 70 words now.
Right. And he puts them together.
Yes, and we
I,
celebrate every sentence, and people look at us so weird. And I looked and I said, if you only knew, you would understand, and I'm not going to stand here and explain it to you in front of you.
right.
I
I
had
mean,
to nip that in the bud with some people that would talk to about my granddaughter in front of. I'm like, look, she's standing right there. She's not stupid. I said, she's a
right.
little kid, but she understands that you're. And I was like, don't talk about kids when they're present if you're not going to talk to them. I think that's rude. And I've had people do that to me as an adult, and I'm like, dude, right here, I can hear every
Okay.
word you're saying.
Okay. So, all right. My oldest grandson is half black. Okay. And her dad and her mom was going through a divorce. His mom and dad, my daughter and her ex-husband, was going through a divorce. So they never lived together with him. And she was going through a divorce. Well, because of that, she didn't have the money, so she went to the state. Well, the state, and he wasn't paying child support. The state paid me to babysit my grandson so that he didn't have to go to a sitter. And so I was babysitting. Well, I took him everywhere with me, right? Well, you could definitely tell he was not white. And people would come up to me and say, "What is that, a boy or a girl?" I'm like, "A boy." And they'd say, "Well, what is he?" "A baby." "No, I mean, what is he?" He's a baby boy. And they say, "No, no, what is he?" And I'm like, "Say what you're asking or don't ask me." I said, "He is my grandson. He is a baby boy. If you want to know his nationality, then ask me. Don't, or what he is, don't say, what is he?" That made me so mad. Oh,
I took Lorelai to Target with me shopping. And I'm telling you, for a 6 year old, I love shopping with that kid. She is so well behaved when we're shopping. And
oh, my
this
grandkids.
cashier looked, she goes, "You are so good for your mommy." And she looked, she goes, "Well, I'm good for everybody." She said, "This is not my mom. This is my grams."
Right.
And she goes, "Oh, sorry." She said, "Well, she looks so young." She said, "It's all that clean living she's done." I looked, I said, "Lorelai, where did you hear that?" She said, "You say it all the time." And I said, "See," I said, "clean living." And I said, "Make you look younger for longer." And she goes, "Well, I have to have clean living." She said, "Why?" She said, "Because you'll spank me."
Oh,
I was like, "You're right, I will." I said, "So, I said, you better straighten up and fly right." I had to explain that saying to her. I said, "It just means to
right,
behave yourself." In
right,
But she has her times, but she will do it at home, even if she's feeling bad. She won't act out until like we get in the car or something and we're in private. She never does it in public.
right,
And it's just like, my son is very big on, she's allowed to have her feelings. And I said, yes, she is. I said, but she has got to understand that her feelings may sometimes hurt other people's feelings, and she needs to stop and think about that. Is what
right,
I'm going to say hurt this person, and is it going to make me feel any better? I said, because
right,
generally speaking, if you're hurting somebody else, it don't feel real good. And I mean, in life, sometimes you have to, but that is something I really strive to not hurt other people's feelings,
right,
and try to teach her by example. But Anthony's the same way. He seldom, if ever, will have a meltdown in public now. But about, what was it, 2013, 2014, it was at this time of the year, and we'd stopped. We was waiting on Andrew's bus. Uh, he was coming home from college. And we ducked into the dollar store, just to kill some time so he didn't have to sit in the car the whole time. And my son collects umbrellas. He loves umbrellas. He doesn't care if they're big umbrellas or little umbrellas. He even has paper umbrellas.
Right.
But he has an umbrella so huge that it takes up half my porch. And
Right.
I don't know, I guess that 8 foot tall people carry this umbrella because you can fit like 6 adults under it. It's that big.
Welcome back, Liz.
But we shopped a little bit, and as we was going out, they had an umbrella display, and he stopped to look through them. And this guy behind us, he said, "I wish you'd teach your effing kid to stay the f out of people's way." I was turned around and was getting ready to do war on this person for talking to my son like that, and he just
Right.
stopped, turned around, looked at him. He said, "You have a Merry Christmas." And out the door he went. And I was right behind him. And I looked and I said, "Well," I said, "in this case, son, you were way more mature than your mother."
Right.
But yes, proud mommy moment. And it just, and he was just looking at me. He says, "I do good." And I said, "Yes, you did good."
Yep.
Because I was honestly about ready to just turn around and slap that guy upside the head. Don't talk. I don't care if they're special needs or not. You don't talk to kids like that.
Right. Okay, so Kendrick, my oldest grandson, he is a talker. Whew, he talks and talks and talks. He will talk your ear off. I mean, that's probably why he is so good at his job. He's a salesman, and boy, that boy can talk. And he was, what, 3 years old? I think he was three, maybe four. No, three. When we moved to, no, he was four. When we moved to Kentucky. And a few months later, our son was coming to visit us, and he brought Kendrick on his trip with us to see us. Right?
Yep.
Kendrick never stopped talking the whole time on the airplane. And after they got off the airplane, some passenger came up to my son and said, "I'm so glad I'm no longer on that plane with your kid because he doesn't know how to shut his mouth." Oh, my son come unglued on him. He says he wasn't screaming. He was just talking. And he's like, "Yeah, but he drove me crazy." He goes, "That's your problem, not his." Oh, he was so mad at him. I will not shut a child up just because they're just sitting and talking. That's how he was keeping himself from being bored. Because
When
he
I
was
was
too young.
working at Kroger's right after it was, I think maybe a year after Anthony was diagnosed, and they just told us that day that he might never talk, and he was 3.5, 4, and I was closing down seafood, and this woman come up, was looking in the case, and her little girl was just 90 miles an hour, and she looked and she goes, "I wish you'd shut up. I wish you couldn't even talk." And I burst into tears, and I looked at that woman. I said, "Don't ever say that." I said, "Because you don't know what that feels like." I said, "Even when they aggravate you," I said, "you should rejoice in every bit of conversation you can have with your kid." And I realized she had absolutely no context to that and probably thought I was insane. But that just hit me in the feel so bad that day.
Right. Well, what used to drive me crazy when I was working at the grocery store was these mothers who would come in and their child would be the baby would be in the car, in the cart with their mom's phone, watching it like this, watching whatever it was, watching it, and she's just dawdling along. I'm like, you have 100%. You could have 100% attention from that child. You are wasting that precious time just because it's more convenient for you to shut the kid up so that you don't have to listen to it talk. Okay, I'm done with this row of the five. Five, 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 five. So it's five double crochets, five chain, five double crochets, five chains. At the end, there was only room for two. Well, the next row we're going to be doing three. So what I will do is I chained 3, but I'm not going to, let's see, should I put it? Yes, I will do 1 chain or 1 double crochet in here. So there'll be 2 double crochets because your 3 chain counts as a double crochet. Then I will do 1, 2, 3, and then I will go into the center chain and do 1 double crochet. What that's going to do is that's going to give me the bottom of my next row, my next diamonds. Now, because I have a top of my diamond, bottom of my diamonds, 3, 5, I'll do 3 and then 1 on the next row. So the rest of the rows has 3 chains in between. The only one that has 5, and I know this looks funny because it hasn't been blocked. The only one that has 5 is the 5, 5, 5. The rest of them have 3 chains, 3 double crochets, 3 chains, 1 double crochet, 3 chains, like that. And that's how you come up with this the diamond pattern. And it looks, like I said, it looks really, really pretty, and it looks really, really complicated, and it's not complicated at all once you get used to it. So here I did the 3. So here's, you can see 1, 3, 5, 3. And then my next row, it will have the top 1, it'll be top of it. So now, this has a 1 here. So this is the top of this diamond. And now I'm going to put the top of the next diamond above it. And that's just what this
The bottom, you mean?
Yeah, this is the bottom. Unless you wanted to look at it from the other direction, and then it's the top.
Well, you said the top.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this... Oops.
One and the bottom of the other one.
Yeah. So...
Just clarifying for my brain.
No, that's fine. So this is the top of this one, and I'm going to be putting the bottom in the next one. I put it in the wrong chain. You can always tell if it's in the right one because it will look funny, which that did. So there is the bottom of the next set of diamonds above that. And then you just go 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the second double crochet, and you do it into 3 of them, and that will give you your middle of your not your middle, because the middle is the 5. It'll be the top, second to the top diamond.
Yep, Daddy went to work.
Hi, Anthony.
He said Dad's traveling.
Yeah.
What's up?
But if anybody is interested in this pattern, I will take a picture of it and then I can send it to you. Or I can put it in a document and then you could print it out yourself.
Excuse me, y'all. Evidently, allergy season's come early. And it's not just me that's doing this. I've talked to no less than a dozen people the last 3 days, and we all have the same thing going on.
Yeah.
Stuffy, runny, or you're coughing your head off. But no, it's not you're not sick.
Yeah, mine is a runny nose. I sneeze. But my coughing doesn't usually start until I get into January, and then I start coughing. And I cough.
They looked at her like they was going to throw her out of his room, and she said, "Look, I got allergies. I am not sick."
Right.
And she said, "But if you want me," and then they come in there, and she got so mad. And I swear, if I was her, I would go to the hospital administrator. I'm sorry. I have high standards when it comes to health care. They came in there to change his port in his neck. No mask, no gloves.
You told me that. Yeah, you told me that.
Well, no, they did it again. And she said, "Look, I told you people, if you're going to come around him, you don't maybe don't have to wear a mask, but you have to have gloves on before you touch him."
Well, they should anyway, just for their own
That's what
safety.
I told her. I was like, "But bloodborne pathogens, we learned this. You don't touch blood with your bare skin."
Right.
And I was
Even
just like,
when,
I
okay, so
swear I would go to the administrator before I. That's twice they've done that.
so when I worked at the grocery store, if anybody, there was any kind of body fluid, so throw up, snot, uh, blood, anything, any kind of anything that we got
Especially in a
spilled,
biohazard
or
bag.
well, not only that, they had there was certain people who worked there that had to go through a course to know how to take care of it properly, and so there was none of this just clean up the blood or whatever. If you were
It's
you
that
didn't
way
you
now. I mean, even with working through the company that I work for, we're home health care aides. We still have to test on bloodborne pathogens every single year. It doesn't
right.
change. It's always the same, but we still have to have the training every year.
Well, my husband, he was a cop, and he had to go through all that kind of training as well because he was dealing with inmates that would throw up or mess themselves or get bloody for some reason. They cut themselves, try to kill themselves, whatever. He had to have that training so that he could handle it.
Yep,
And on their utility belt, they carried mask, gloves, and all that. And they did not touch inmates with their bare hands, period. You just didn't touch them. You always had gloves on, no matter what, when you were touching an inmate. Because you just didn't know. You didn't know their background. You didn't know anything about them. And even
as
then,
with our clients, uh, that all the caregivers are encouraged if they're helping them change clothes, especially if they're helping them bathe. And also when they're cooking their food, they need to wear gloves.
well, yes. Now, Ron never had to do that, but as soon as he came home, he didn't hang around in his uniform. Oh no. He immediately took it off and put it in the dirty clothes, and it was dirty clothes that no other clothes was in with. It was
Hey,
by
Greg,
itself.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, Greg. Merry Christmas. Yeah, so it was something he kept his dirty uniforms separate from everyone else's clothes. It was washed, dried, separate, and I just put too many chains on that.
Yeah,
Don't
you
it's
only
not
needed three.
Yeah, and I did 5.
I know. I watched you. I figured you can't. If you hadn't caught it, I would have said something, but I was waiting for you to catch it.
Well, I have mistakes in this thing, and there's a few where I didn't see it until I was way past it, and I figured. And same with the skirt cover. I said, you know what? If anybody's close enough to see my mistake, they're too close to me.
Yep. And hey, it's handmade. Handmaids have mistakes.
Right.
And to all a good night. Oh God, I'll be reading that story tomorrow. Not to Lorelai even. Lorelai doesn't like that story.
Why?
She thinks because she thinks it's mean that Santa makes the reindeer stay out in the cold while he goes in the warm house.
Well, reindeers are
That's
animals that
what we
stay
told her. They're
outside.
made to be out in the weather. Me and Anthony read that every year, and he
Um,
always says "Into all a good night." That's his part of the story.
yeah.
It's gonna be another. I gotta get up at 5 in the morning.
Oh, not me.
We're having dinner at 11
Oh,
because Andrew has to have Lorelai back to her mommy by 2 so she can go see her stepdaddy's parents, and then from there they're going to Morgan's mom's. So
yeah.
she will have a full day tomorrow.
Yep.
I told Andrew I'd pick him up at 9, and I want to have everything in the oven before I leave. I mean, Bill will be here, but uh, love my husband, but I can't trust him to put anything in the stove.
Ron, I can as long as I write it down. He's really good at that. He's really organized, and that I
It does no good to write the directions down for that man because he doesn't read directions. He
if
doesn't
I
read
write
them.
if I write something down, because I write lots of notes for him. Over the years, he's gotten used to the fact that if I need him to do something, I'm gonna write him a note, and he is always amazingly good at making sure he does everything.
Bill is good with stuff with that, except for cooking. It's just, I was just like,
Well,
no.
Ron is like, okay, so when I was in Utah in last May, he wanted pierogies, and he didn't know how I cooked them. He knew how he used to cook them, but he knows that I cook them differently, and they taste better when I cook them. So he didn't want to do the way he used to, so he called me and asked me how to do it. So I walked him through it, and he had it down. Just like he used to use my mom's meatloaf, and I didn't like it. It was too dry. And so when I took over, back over the cooking, when I stopped working, we had meatloaf, and Ron's like, "This is not the same recipe." I said, "You're right. It's not the same recipe." And he goes, "I don't know what you're doing, but it is good." I'm like, "Okay." And I asked him, I says, "Do you want the recipe?" He goes, "No, I'll just have you cook it." Okay.
Me and Renee, I make my meatloaf exactly, and she is finally the one that made the breakthrough teaching me meatloaf. I can make coco vin and stroganoff from scratch with the red wine, all that. And I could not make a freaking meatloaf.
Hmm.
And I would get so frustrated. And I finally told her, I said, okay, I bought all this stuff. I said, you're coming over here and I'm going to watch you. Everything you do, because she makes amazing meatloaf. I was like,
Yeah.
and figure out what it is you're doing that I'm not doing, that mine's not turning out right. Because they would either be soup or you could put them through a brick wall. I mean, some of them would have made really good catapults. I'm not even joking. And Bill keeps saying, he goes, but they still tasted good. And the man has to love me to eat some of the food that came out of our kitchen when we first got married, because I was just like, yeah, no, that's no, don't eat that. Oh, I'll eat it. It's fine, honey.
Yeah.
And when I'm sitting there looking at him, I was like, don't eat that. I don't want you to. I'll fix you something else. I didn't eat it. Him and one of my older brothers, Ronnie, uh, I made meatloaf and it came out super, super loose. And I was standing there looking at it. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna have to make something else. And my brothers looked there and he grabbed a spoon and he tasted. He said, well, it tastes good. Bill tasted. He said, yep. So they just got bowls and spooned it
Yeah.
in bowls and eat it with a spoon. I was like, all right. Was very special to me.
Yeah.
When I after my first job waitressing, or I was a line cook and I was a waitress, and then I was just like, I'd be really better in the kitchen than I am out here, because I was not a people person then. I had no patience for idiots. Actually, I still don't have a whole lot, but anyway, we had we are going to have a Christmas party, and I wanted to go, but I had no dressy clothes because up until then I was working the farm. Really hard to wear a nice dress, when you're out in the fields or in the barn mucking it out. And he was just like, he said, well, let's go to Kmart. Went to Kmart and he picked out, and I still have it hanging in my closet. I have no hope of ever wearing this dress again unless I shrink quite a bit. But I've always kept the dress because it was the one thing he ever bought me. And he bought me and Renee matching dresses to wear that night because we both worked in the same place. Bill keeps asking me, he said, do you want to get rid of that? I said, no, that's the only thing Ronnie ever bought me. I'm keeping it. He's like, you'll never wear it again. I said, I'm never going to wear my wedding dress either, but I still have it.
Right.
And he tried to get me
I
to
hate
sell
my
that.
wedding dress.
Why would you want me to sell? He's like, well, it's not like either of the boys are going to wear it. And I said, you don't know that.
I I hate my wedding dress.
I
I
love my
hated
wedding
it,
dress.
but I still have it.
I got the wedding dress, even though everybody was like, don't buy. I was like, nope, this is the dress I've always wanted. I put it on. It was beautiful. I felt great in it. And I said, nope, I'm getting it. And to this day, the only thing that bothered me about that is I spent $500 on that dress for one day. And I still can't wrap I am too pragmatic when it comes to money. And I'm like, and it took me a lot. I said, how do I justify spending that much on a dress that I'm going to wear one time? And then I watched, Say Yes to the Dress, and they're plunking down $10,000 for a dress, and I'm like, save it for a
Uh-huh.
house. You could buy a new
Right.
car.
Right. I do the same thing.
Now they
I
are
watch.
beautiful dresses. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Some of them are downright ugly. There's some beautiful dresses. Well, I
Mhm.
won't say they're ugly. I'm sitting there going, they're gaudy to me. I'm a very
Right.
unfrilly person. I am not a frou-frou girl. That's my sister.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing with mine is, um, I didn't have a sewing machine when Ron asked me to marry him, which he'll tell you he never asked me, and I guess he really never did ask me a formal asking. He called me Mrs. Dunyan, and I asked him what that meant, and he goes, "What do you want it to mean?" And I'm like, "Oh, thank you. You just asked me to marry you." And I got all excited, and yeah, we were engaged. So we wanted to get married, but he asked me to marry him on January 28th, and we decided to get married on March 15th, which normally I could have made a dress, but I didn't have a sewing machine at the time, and I had a baby, and so I really didn't have the time to make the dress. So my sister said, "Well, let's go to the shop and see, because they always have lots of dresses." Well, the one I wanted was too big for me, and I should have just bought it anyway because I could have took it in. But I ended up settling on one I didn't like. But it's my dress, so I wore it, and I still have it.
Well, my dad had a fit. I love hats. I love wearing hats.
Ugh,
Um, at this point in my life, it's ball caps. Literally have a huge collection of ball caps that I wear.
I don't
Uh,
wear hats.
that's just because I don't have to mess with my hair when I go out. I can just throw a hat on my head and nobody knows the difference. Pull it through the back. But when I got married, I found this beautiful white sun hat. It wasn't really. It's more like something you'd wear to
Oops.
at Easter time. And a
Right.
friend of mine put roses on it to match my bouquet because I had silk flowers. And I loved that hat. And my dad was like, one day. And he even, because I hate dress shoes as much as I hate shoes, period. But he made me pull my wedding dress up to make sure I didn't have my high top tennis shoes on.
That's cool, Greg. We had ours, top of our cake, in the freezer for a year, and we had it on our first anniversary.
That's what me and Bill was going to do, but his brother
Oh,
got
wait.
hungry the night and ate him.
No, we were going to do that. We didn't get to. You know why?
Power went out.
No. My nephew ran past the table and bumped it, and my whole cake fell to the floor.
Yeah. I went
And
look when
everyone said,
we lived with his
every,
mom and dad for about 3 months while we was remodeling the house we were moving into.
right, okay,
And
so on this road, let me tell you really quick. Instead of just doing the 3, I'm doing 5. The reason is I have to turn and go right in here to do the 3 here. So I need to have enough on
extra.
this extra on that. So that's why I'm doing this one. But the rest of the row is just the 3. So now I am doing the second row of the bottom of the diamond, and then I'll do 3, and then so I'm doing This was a 1 and this is a 3. This will be a 3 and then this one will be the 1 at the top of this diamond. This is the bottom of this diamond. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
It's too late.
Okay, you lost it. But so some of the ends are different, but as long as you get them, I always make sure that they're straight. So
You too, Larry. Good night. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, good night, Larry. Merry Christmas. So I'm making sure that my edging is straight. Of course, it's going to have a border on it, which will straighten it out. But let me show you. So this is just a rectangle, and this is how it becomes the shawl or the cardigan. Is you take your corners to the center and you hook them, and so your arms come out this side, out the side. So this is what it is. Your arms come out here, your head's here, your body's here, and that's what gives it this look.
Okay.
So now I'm back to 3, 3, 3, 3. No, yeah, 3, 3, 3. Because we'll do 3, and then I'll do 1 double crochet, 3 chains, 1 double crochet.
And today I made my very first sugar-free cheesecake.
Awesome.
And other than that nasty taste of that sugar substitute, it was pretty good.
What sugar substitute did you use?
No, it's not Splenda. Or is it Splenda? I think it's Splenda. It's the one Greg prefers. The guy I was making it for, it's the one he prefers.
Is it the blue?
No, it was yellow. Pretty sure it was
Splenda. It's not Splenda then. Yellow is what I use, and that's not Splenda. Splenda is not good for you. It has formaldehyde in it.
It's what he likes, but it leaves I'll be 3 days getting that taste out of my mouth.
No, I'm wrong. Splenda, I do like Splenda. Splenda is the pink. No, Splenda is the yellow.
I thought Equal was the pink.
The what?
I thought Equal was the pink and Splenda's yellow.
No, Equal is the blue. Equal is the one that has formaldehyde in it.
Yeah, but I think it's pink.
No. Sweet
or
and
is that blue and white? God, I can't remember. There's so many of them on the market now.
Yeah, there's a pink, a yellow, a green, and a blue. The blue is Equal, and that has got formaldehyde in it. The green ones is Antiva or
Stevia.
Stevia. I've never really used that one. The yellow is Splenda. I prefer the yellow one, but we used to use.
Well, the stevia is to me is not really a sugar substitute because it's made from a plant, just like sugar cane. It's regular sugar is made from sugar cane, or derived from it. So I don't see it as a substitute. It's just different type of sugar.
Right, and then.
Greg did try that, but it was still driving his sugars up, so he quit trying it.
Right now, the pink is sweet and low, and that's the one that they used to say would cause cancer. And you know what?
I think all of them will.
I think everything you eat will.
They're chemicals,
Yes, or sugar beets. Utah. That's one of their biggest things that they grow in Utah is sugar beets.
I love sugar beets.
I don't, but I like the sugar from it. I'm not a beet person.
Oh, I love beets. I like them roasted. I like them pickled. I like them salad.
Ugh. Yeah. Not this person.
No, Splenda is yellow.
Yeah, Splenda's yellow.
Splenda's yellow equals blue. Then you have
Equals.
monk fruit, which is red and white. And stevia is also in a green. It is green.
Yeah, stevia is green. Okay, my
And then,
yarn.
oh, Truvia, that's the other one.
The what?
Truvia, but it's made with
Yeah,
stevia.
right.
But
And
yeah, it's the Splenda that I got for him to use.
yeah, Splenda is. I like Splenda. You have to acquire
A
a
taste for
taste.
yeah. Well, that's what Bill said. He said this tastes normal to him, honey. And I was like, yeah, but it leaves all of them. Every single sugar substitute I've ever tasted leaves this funky taste in my mouth that I can't get rid of.
Yes, yes, but if you continued using it or eating it after a while, you wouldn't have that problem anymore.
Nah, I just have to give up anything sweet. It's yeah, it's I find it that it's just
It's in your head. No,
no, it's
I'm
not in my
kidding.
head. It's in my taste
I'm
buds.
kidding.
It's in my
I'm
taste
kidding.
buds. I know where that one lives. Uh, Renee, it was just like turkey bacon. I'm sorry, no,
See, we
no.
eat turkey bacon. We eat turkey bacon and turkey sausage, and we used to eat turkey burger, but now we don't eat a lot, and I get the highest, uh, the least amount of fat in our that you can buy in hamburger, so it doesn't have high fat content, and we just have hamburger.
3, or are you back to 5? Your chains. I'm
3,
asking.
3.
Okay, you're still on 3.
Yeah. My next row will be the 5.
Okay,
I think.
I'm
I
just keeping track while I'm watching.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
not not for you. I'm keeping track for me.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the next one. Let's see.
I'm gonna be a really horrible person and tell you I'm gonna really glad when tomorrow's over because that's done for me. Because we're doing Christmas tomorrow and I can deep clean my kitchen. My kitchen really needs a deep clean. It was fine until I started baking and stuff.
Tomorrow I have to make an early dinner because we are going to the Christmas Eve uh, uh, service at church.
Craig, he's calling me the crochet cop.
I think she's trying to learn this pattern because she didn't think she could do it, but it's
Yeah,
really not
yeah.
hard.
I'm noticing it's not as hard as I thought it was. And I'm going to tell you something. I've seen this pattern. This first time I've seen it in clothing, other than when I ran across that online brand. But I attempted a tablecloth, and
Hmm.
I'm here to tell you, I'm pretty sure that it was because I was using thread that made it so hard.
I've done
I gave
tablecloth.
up on it. But then I did another fillet one with 3-leaf clovers is what it
Yeah,
formed. I found that one really really easy.
yeah. Well, let me show you. This is. Let me show you the diagram. I don't think I showed you the diagram. Of Okay, so this. Can you see this? Okay.
Yeah, right, right there,
Okay.
right there.
See, so it's only chains and double crochets, and that's all it is. And so you've got your diamonds here and here, and that's it. And that's what makes this is those the diamonds. You can see them. Look at them. You can see the diamonds. But when I'm just looking at it, I don't see the diamonds like I do when I look at the.
You see it more from was up on the monitor, and then I leaned way back, and from a distance you could see them better.
Yeah, and see, now I can see it when I look at the computer, but I can't see it as well up close. Up close, I'm just seeing my stitches. but far away you can see the actual diamonds. Okay, Connie, that's not right. I'll tell you, my
Well,
biggest
I'm
problem
gonna
with
have
this
to
yarn,
skedaddle out of here soon because I still have to make my deviled eggs.
you know what is wrong with this yarn? Dog
What?
hair.
Oh yeah.
It collects dog hair really bad. And my hair. I'm constantly picking it out as I'm going. I don't know what it is about this because it's really soft, fairly soft yarn, other than the little sequins. But I can't even feel them.
It's
They're so soft.
probably the nap in it, the nap of the
Yeah,
yarn.
yeah. But like I said, you don't have to do this. I had these because I bought these. These were Joe's, and I got 6 of them. And I wasn't going to make two different projects, so I decided that's why I decided to do the skirt cover and then the go ahead and do the cardigan. So I'm almost to the end of this skein, or this not skein, this
Ball.
cake.
Okay.
It was a cake, yeah. And this is the same color that I'll be pulling out of. So it
See,
will be
when I get that close, I go ahead and grab my end and make sure there's no tangles, and I tie it to the next cake so I can just keep going and not have to
that's
stop
what
and
I
do
do.
it.
That's what I do, except for this always gives me yarn barf, so I wait till I'm closer to it so that I don't have so much yarn barf to deal with because it every time it comes out with a bunch because it doesn't have a little tag to pull it. So I just have to dig down and see if I can find as close to the center as I can so I'm not pulling out so much.
I wonder if those sequins cause that electricity as well, because
No, these sequins are they're clear plastic.
that's what I mean. But the plastic it builds up static electricity. Maybe that's why the dog hair attracts to it so much.
It could be. I know that actually it probably does because the other day I noticed um, that my hair started going. Really? I'm like, stop right now.
I'm probably not Connie. I'm going to say that at the outset. How many of y'all ever went to church, stepped your shoes on the carpet so you could zap each other?
Oh yeah. Well,
I did
actually,
that
no, I
one
don't have.
time. I was getting ready to zap my little brother, and the preacher called my name, and I turned around. He had his hand out, and I just automatically went to shake his hand and shocked the crap out of him.
No, I shock everyone. My kids, when they were little, and I would go to touch them, they'd say,
Touch something
touch
else
something,
first.
touch something else first,
And
mom.
when they do that to each other, I said, nope. I said, you touch the door handle before. I'll go into Walmart, and Bill said you can actually see the sparks from the tips of
Yep.
my fingers to anything metal I get near.
Yeah, I before I uh, pump gas, before I pump gas, I always touch the car first.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to. It actually tells you to do that.
Yeah, it does. I've always done it because I have so much
The ones
electricity.
that scare me, and I went to get gas the other day and saw this. I pointed it out to Bill. This guy sitting there pumping gas and lit a cigarette, and I just drove on by. And Bill's like, "Aren't you going to take a pump?" And I was like, "Not till that guy leaves." I
Right.
said, "Did you not?" He said, "Yeah, he lit a cigarette." I said, "He lit a cigarette while he's putting gas in his car." I said, "You have any idea how stupid that is?"
Yeah, the fumes can come right up and light and
With the
yeah,
lighter,
yeah.
dude, where have you been living your whole life? This is why people make fun of West Virginia. It's right there. People like that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is you're supposed to turn off your car before you pump your gas.
I always turn off my car.
Well, you're supposed to, but I know people who don't.
I actually pulled up to a gas station. We were going somewhere shopping or something, going to the grocery store, and I pulled up to the gas pump. And as I was pulling up, I looked at the hood of the car, and I told Bill, I was like, "There's smoke coming," and I just hit the gas and drove to the other side of the parking lot. And
Hmm.
Bill's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "The car's on fire, dumbass!" And I popped it, and he popped it up. He goes, "Oh wow, the car's on fire!" And I'm like, "Really?" And I was getting the kids out of the car. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not leaving my kids in a burning car.
Right.
I can get it put out. I'll use the fire." Oh my God. No, don't put my kids' lives in danger. I don't like that. But, it was a 92 Chevette with almost 100,000 miles on it. And I bought it used.
Did you know my car? And I'm gonna knock on wood. Okay. Sorry, voice. Uh, it's almost 6 years old. We've never had no major problems with it. And I looked at the speedometer yesterday, and we have 130,000 miles on it.
That's actually not bad for 6 years.
Well, for us it is, but we go to drive to Utah so often. And we drive other places. We drive to Iowa. We drive to Oklahoma. We drive to Omaha. We drive. We haven't. We took our
We
other.
figured out, and when Anthony was in therapy, gas was cheaper back then, people. A little bit, anyway. And I was just looking, I was like, I'm just curious how many miles I put on the car, you know, every week. And yeah, it for about, let's see, started when he was 3. From the time he was 4 until he was 21, I put 800 miles a week on my car.
Oh, I used to.
Yeah, that's why everybody's like, I don't know why I was like, that's why I like Subarus, because you could run the crap out of those cars and they'll keep going.
So when I used to, we lived in Kentucky, and then when we moved back to Utah, I was driving 40 miles or 45 miles each way, 5 days a week. So plus all of our other driving. So we put a lot of. That's why that car that I had when we moved to Kentucky had when we traded it in, it had almost 300,000 miles on it.
Well, when he the first 7 years he was in therapy, we had to go to Kentucky for his therapy because they didn't have any place like that here.
Right,
And because everybody's like, why are you going all the way to Kentucky? I said, because they don't have these services here. That's the only place we can go for therapy. Because
right.
everybody's like, well, can't you find it closer? No. I think the last 2 years he was in therapy, we found they opened one in South Charleston, which is about 45 minutes from us, which, that's a big improvement. But I didn't like his therapist there. Not as much.
See how? See that big yarn bar? Not big, but it's bigger than what I want. And there's the end coming outside of the yarn bar.
Well, that's why there's yarn barf right there because it's coming outside. Actually, if you trace it down, you might be able to get it from the top.
Maybe.
Just give it a tug so you figure out where the yarn is or which yarn it is. Wow, it's coming out the wrong direction is what it is. Did you find it?
I think so. Maybe. I thought I did. No, I'm not fine. It's gonna be more of a mess.
I bought some yarn off this lady one time, and it was like a 40-gallon trash bag of yarn. And she's like, some of it might be messy. She was not kidding. I was sitting there and I just looked at, and Bill come over and looked at it. He goes, I'll take a pile. Sit over, he turned on Patton and sat in his chair watching Patton untangling yarn for me. And I was just like watching him as I was doing it, and he got his pile done. He goes, you got more? And I said, there's a whole bag full.
Did you know? You probably wouldn't. You wouldn't know this. This is a trivia question. My dad's sister was married to Peter Patton. He was uh, General Patton's nephew.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Looked just like him.
Bill is a huge war buff. All the wars.
Yeah.
Greg, you know my sister's name is Robin, right?
What?
He said send the yarn to Robin and she'll sort it out. Good night, Sandra. Merry Christmas.
Good night, Sandra. Merry Christmas. No, he knows. I know who he's talking
I
about.
know
Yeah.
who he's talking about too. I was just picking on him because she comes
Yeah.
in here as Renee, but her first name is Robin.
Okay.
I refuse to call her Robin unless I'm mad at her. If I call her Robin, she knows she done screwed up and she runs.
Yeah.
Most of the time I
It's
call
been
her
a,
Chris.
it's been a while since Robin came in to one of my lives. Or yeah, one of my lives. She does occasionally. I don't usually go into hers just because it's gaming. I don't care for gaming.
Yeah, I'm not big about gaming. Hello, Cash. Oh, I love you. Good boy. I know. You let them gas men today know who's boss, didn't you? Yeah. He went out there and just like snorted and sniffed and wiggled until they patted him. I'm like, yeah, you are such a guard dog. And Bill looked and he goes, I said, no. I said, when you're not home, they wouldn't have got that close to the house. I
Yeah.
said, it's just because he knows you're home.
It just nodded up on me.
Cash, did you go out there? Why are you out there running through the creek? It has me no sense. Give a dog a bath so he's nice and snow white for Christmas. And he runs through the creek and gets muddy.
Yeah.
I wanted to get him in some pictures with the Lorelai and Anthony.
Yeah. Come on.
He was Lorelai was draped over his back last weekend, and I was just like, Lorelai, you cannot do that. And she goes, well, he's a big dog. I said, you will hurt his back. I said, he's not a horse.
Yeah.
He's not built for that. And she goes, but
Right.
he wants me. And I said, yeah. I said, he'd probably eat mud pies for you too, but that doesn't make it good for him.
That's right.
I had an old dog, old cur dog, that I raised. He was I love the runts in the litter. They always make the best dogs for me. And he was a rat. And Jenny, or Renee's daughter Jenny, when she was little, she would literally sit in the yard and make mud pies and give him feed. The dog would eat them.
Yeah.
She would sit and he'd feed. She says, "How's this taste, Wolf?" And he'd take a bite and he'd chomp it and then eat. And I was like, "Stop feeding the dog dirt."
See, now we've had basset hounds, and we've had now we've got a beagle. We've had beagles before, and they've got long backs, and you have, especially the basset hounds, you have got to be so careful.
Dachshunds as well, same way.
Yes, exactly, and they're a hound too. You just you have to be careful with their backs.
Well, I mean,
I thought I had another knot. Look at my knot. It's where I tied this stupid thing together. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got another knot. Duh.
I'm pretty sure that dog would probably let her dissect him while he just laid there and smiled at her. And he does smile at her, and it's so cute.
Yeah.
And he's just
Now
really
these,
tolerant smile, It's like you're
right, I have a
little
dog.
kid.
The little Chihuahua, he'll smile. He bares his teeth, and you think he's baring his teeth. He's smiling. Okay, so one thing about this pattern is I am not going to go over my tails while I'm doing this because it's too holy. So what I'll do is I'll go back and use my needle and actually go through each strand so that it's inside the actual strand of yarn to hide the end.
Yep, every time you wash it, it buries it deeper.
Yeah. But if I go over it, there's not enough because there's too much
Open it. Yeah, it's because it's
open.
lacy.
So I don't want to do that. And
I think it's mating time.
yeah, I have another one too. It's down here, and this one I made really long so that I would have plenty. This one here I didn't, but it's plenty enough. But I'm hoping I'll have this done by next week. I think I will.
Yeah, I can see
It's
you having it
it's over
done.
half. It's over half done now, so it will be. Ah, come back! Don't fall. 'Cause I think. Let me see. How many rows did it say to do? I'm not really going off the pattern so much. It's more of a guideline than anything. 64 rows, and then your
Border.
yeah, the border, and the border is 3 rounds of double crochets. No, 5. Yeah, it's 5 rows. So that's what gives you this bigger border, and that will be good. I'll probably do 6 on top of the skirt, so I can fold it down and have 3 on the inside, 3 on the outside for the elastic to go into it. Get so big.
Oh, our new washer and dryer sings a little tune, and Bill does not like it.
You can turn. You can use.
No. I don't want to turn it off because I forget. And that's a
Yeah, I
reminder.
like.
Hey, don't forget you've got clothes in the washer.
Yeah, I like having the tune on my
I don't
washer.
I don't particularly like buzzers, but I can deal with that.
Yeah, same here. I don't like buzzers, but I don't mind the music. In fact, did you know? I think it's on TikTok, or maybe it's Instagram or YouTube. There's actually it's TikTok. There's actually this woman, man and wife. They created a dance to go to that tune, and it's funny as all get out.
Because like something me and Bill would do.
Hmm.
Oh, you want to know what he said after bingo today?
What?
He's like, you're gonna make Connie think we hate each other, and I was like, Connie knows we don't hate each other.
Yeah, I don't think that. You would think me and Ron does too. Nope, we don't.
And I was just like, and besides, we weren't that bad today. I was discussing with Andrew with my niece, and Bill gets all bent out of shape because that girl hurt his baby. And man, I was just like, Bill, they're adults. They worked through it. It's over. Let it go.
Right. Okay, so now this one, see when I get to this end, I'm just going, because it's got that, I'm just going to do one.
In the top.
Yep,
Okay.
on top of that chain.
Not through the loop, but the top of the stitch.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, none of these are going through the actual loop. They're all going through the chain. So then I will chain 3 and
See,
just go.
I think that makes the edges look neater when you do it that way.
Yeah.
Like go into the top
Hold them
instead of going in the loop. A lot of people will go through that loop.
Well, if the pattern calls for it, but this pattern doesn't.
I know. I don't even if the pattern calls for it, I won't do it because I think it looks bulky and
I
crooked.
agree. Right. Good night, Sandra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
About 10 minutes
now.
ago.
Oh. Okay. So now the 3 isn't going to be enough because, well, it will be on. It actually it is because I'm going right into this stitch here because I'm doing the 5. So we'll do 1 and then these 3 and then 1 and then I'll jump over to the next one with the 5 in between. So we're back to the center of the diamond on this row. And yeah, that will work. Because see, this is how little it is, but when I pull it up, it will straighten it up.
Yeah.
So that's 3, 4, and then I have 5 double crochets and then 5 chains. And then you jump past this one because that's the top of this diamond and you don't want anything connected to the top, just like you didn't want on the bottom of, or the tops. So that's what gives you the definition of the diamonds. So you just go over here and do your 5 double crochets. But at 9:30, I think we're going to end in 7 minutes. And then that's 4, so I have to go to the next stitch, which is hard to do. It's a hard stitch to get to. I'm not pulling tight on it when I do it, but I think because I'm pulling on the other ones, it just makes it tight.
Some of the stitches extra tight.
And so there is your middle of that diamond. Right there. So it's 1, 3, 5, then 3 and 1 for your diamond. Of course, this color is going to be a little bit longer, wider than these because it's the end of one skein cake and it's the beginning of the other cake, but it doesn't bother me. I would see that's what happened here. Okay, so this purple one, this was the beginning of the other skein I just finished, or the cake I just finished, because normally you get 1, 2, 3 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because it's going from one purple to the other purple and back to the other purple. And that doesn't bother me that that's going to happen again. Because you can see it's a little bit different colors. It's not exact same color. It goes up to this and then does it again. So 1, 2, 3 was one skein and the other 3 was the other, or 4. Yeah. And it works.
Okay, where did that song come from?
Oh, I did it again.
No, I just started hearing a song in my head, and I'm trying to figure out what made me think.
What song is that?
Good night, ladies.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was my exact thought. I was sitting there going, huh?
Yeah. Come on. This is the hardest one to go. And you can't miss it and go to the next one. There we go. It will mess up your account.
Y'all come in the kitchen laughing at me today. I was trying to get the lid off the jar, and my hands have been hurting a lot. And I even got my gripper. And I was just like, yep, no. I was like, look, I said, we have to get along because I need what's inside of you. So let go. And he walked by me and he goes, if that works, he said, tell me. I said, shut up and open a jar.
I think we were on the phone.
No, this was after bingo.
Oh, okay.
I was in there getting stuff. He was
Oh no,
loading.
you were talking something about. You said he opened something, or and he's like, this wasn't closed all the way, or something. And you said, yeah, my hands were hurting, so I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So that was something else.
Yeah, but I told him to bite a certain part of my anatomy then.
Oh, that's right, you did. I remember you saying that.
We do that
Well,
in front of
guys,
his sister-in-law, and she'll say scandalized. I can't believe he talks to you like that. I looked at her and I was like, I talk to him the same way. What difference does it make?
right. Well, I think we're going to end this live. We've been on here for an hour and a half. And I haven't put the bingo one up, but I will. I keep forgetting, but I'll have it up before Saturday. Um, you guys all have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you on Saturday because we're not going to have a live on Christmas Day, Christmas night. Not that I couldn't, I just know that people are with their families, and I just don't want to, do that. So you guys all have a great night. Let me do this. Let me go live.
Merry Christmas, Liz. You muted yourself.
Actually, I didn't mute mine.
You forgot to
Oh, now I
unmute.
can hear myself. Oh, yeah. So I didn't mute myself. I was already muted on that one. So, all right, you guys, you have a great night, great Christmas. I'll see you on Saturday night on my other channel for bingo. Bye, guys.
Night, everybody. Merry Christmas.